Hello everyone, today is Tuesday, November 6th, and this is Professor Zerk. There's a couple things that I want to show you on Blackboard that will be released by the time you see this video. So let's take a look. So when you log in, you're in your new today, and we're going to go to modules. So there's two things. One is the uploads of the study team's group presentations, which once I've graded them, I am putting them here in a module called group presentations. I'm logged in as myself, so I can see all the modules, even the ones that aren't released yet. To see the group presentations, click on Group Presentations, and there'll be a list of presentations. I'm converting them all to PDF format so they're easy to use. If you are working on your research paper, studying for the final exam, or just want to know a little bit more about a particular topic, you can always check the group presentations folder and see if there's a presentation there that you can use. This is part of our strategy of dividing the workload, since we have a lot of information to cover and different study teams and different students are going into more detail in one subject matter for one era than another. This is the perfect opportunity to learn more. So here we have a comparison between how the Baroque period unfolds in Amsterdam and Venice, and basically this is a comparison between Northern Europe and Southern Europe. So if you're interested, take a look. That being said, the next thing that people are starting to ask about is the Wiki Project. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. If we go to modules, we can scroll down. You probably won't have to go so far, to Final Exam Study Guides Wiki Repository. This is where each study team is going to work on their wiki for their assigned topic, and all the wikis are going to be due at the same time, December 9th at 11:59 p.m. The goal of the wikis is for each team to kind of make a cheat sheet study guide for the entire class on their module, right? So if we go in here to Final Exam Study Guides, you will see there are instructions here that you can read as you are interested in, and then there is a video on how to use the Blackboard software to create subpages and link them together. And of course, by the time you look at this item here, the wiki instructions, this video that I'm recording now will be part of it. And what I've done is I've created different modules for each team. I've listed the module name, the module topic, and the team. And in order to kind of give you an idea of what the expectation is, I've started modeling the European Renaissance. I'll probably take this a little bit further in the next week or so, but I think this gets you an idea of what I'm looking for and what might be of help to your fellow students. So if I click on the European Renaissance module, you'll see some information here that you won't see when you go in as a student. But here we have a page called Module 3, European Renaissance. You can see I've been working on it this evening. I have an overview of what's going on in the European Renaissance, and then I've created subpages for the details. And I have my works referenced here as well for the main page, and you'll see that again on the subpages. In this work, I'm relying solely on the arts and humanities through the eras, covering the Renaissance period that we used when we were working on Module 3. So if I click on European Renaissance Architecture, it takes me to the subpage. And the subpage here, I've put an overview. I've included key developments with citations in MLA format. This is MLA format right here. The author or the editor's last name and the page number. And you'll note that the parentheses are inside the punctuation, not after it. And then again, I have the works referenced here. If I want to go back up to the main page, I can click back. Now I've created a subpage for European Renaissance music, but if I click on it, you see I haven't added anything. If I wanted to add information, I could edit the wiki content and type in my information. So for example, overview, I will type in. I will put it as a heading, and that's all I will do on that right now, and then I'll click submit. And now I have added the word overview, or the heading overview. If I click back, I can go back twice, 3 times actually, to get back to the main page. Now let's say I want to go ahead and add a page for art, because the goal here is to hit with a page like the one you saw my example of for architecture. We want to have that for music, for art. We could have that for religion if the particular module is relevant for that. So what I do is I create a wiki page, and I'm trying to name these in a sensible pattern. So I'll say European Renaissance, CE, art. Then I'll say overview. I could type overview, key developments. I'll make my headings, and then I can fill this in later. Then I click submit, and now I can go back to my main page, and now I want to add a link to the page that I created for art. So I click here, I say edit wiki content. I want to keep mine in alphabetical order. Just because I think that's going to be easier for people. Then I highlight the statement and I go to this special link to wiki page icon here that's multicolored. I click on that, and there's the page I created called art. And I click submit and submit. And now I've updated my main page to have art, and I can click on the hyperlink and go to the art page. Remember, this is a project you can start working on whenever you're ready to start working on it in your study teams. Each study team can decide for themselves how they want to handle this project. You could divvy up the topics. You know, one person could do art, one person could do music, one could do architecture. If you have 4 people in your group, maybe the 4th person could do religion, or you could have one person do 2 topics, with another person do 2 topics, and then double check each other's work. Mm-hmm. The important part of this assignment is we only should use scholarly sources. You noticed I used the Gale Virtual Library and the text we used within that. You can use the Sayer text. You can use JSTOR or EBSCO through the San Diego Miramar Library. You cannot use Wikipedia here. You cannot use a person's blog. You cannot use random posting, random web pages. We want peer-reviewed work because the purpose of this assignment is to help everybody study for the final exam. And if you include incorrect information in your wiki and someone's taking the final exam and they refer to your wiki because they forgot something about architecture in Germany during the Renaissance, and there's incorrect information there and not accurate references to the source of the information, they may get a question wrong on the exam. And you want to get your questions right, so you need to provide good information, and then everybody will get their questions right, because the final exam will be an open book exam, but you're going to have a limited amount of time. And we'll get into that a little later. This is just an overview of how we're going to work on the wikis. And everybody, of course, is welcome to ask questions, either on the Q&A forum, during office hours, via email of each other, etc. So I guess that's about it. Hope you find this helpful, and if there's any more questions, please let me know. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.